What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and fellow hobbyists, and welcome to this episode of On the Bench with Pete. It's an experimental episode this time because I'm experimenting with the sound a little bit. Instead of using my lapel mic, I'm using my microphone, but I'm using one of the internal microphones of my recording device because it's got several. So I'm doing that just so that I'm a bit less wires in the way, Anyway, enough of that. If you're new to this series, this is the series you put on in the background whilst you paint or hobby, build, whatever you want to do, or just sit and think, drive to work, whatever it may be, sit up in bed at night, whatever the case may be. And I use this as therapy as I'm hobbying to get stuff done, to ramble on about life, the universe, and everything else. And, hopefully I get, a good hour of painting or hobbying done at the end of it. So, let's get to the bench. Hey everyone, so yes, my messy bench at the moment. Just put my timer on so I get a bit of a sense of how long I'm going for here. So I've got a lot to do. I'm not going to start with my walls. I'm going to do some basing on them with Lustrian undergrowth. Why not? Why not? It's got to be done, right? So, yeah, I'll do that. So, let me just try to find, there's one. That'll do, it's as good as any. My brand new texture tool. These are great. I recommend them. These things you can get from Citadel. They're for putting on these texture paints. Really, you scoop it out. The big end or the little end, just move it around. So I think they're really great. Yes, I'm using Lustrian undergrowth because it's a green, and that's what I want to do. So I'll just pop this onto my model, get a load of it. So life has been busy lately, so busy, and it's revolving around job hunting. That's the busyness of it all. And I'm seeking like part-time work at the moment because that would suit me down to the ground. Part-time work, and it involves a lot of time out to try and do stuff for that. So, just does. I've got the door open here because they gave rain today, but it's not raining at the moment, so that's kind of cool. I went to the beach yesterday, my wife, myself and my daughter. Didn't take the dogs because it's just too hot for them. And we had a good time on the beach. It was really cool. I managed not to get sunburned, which is good because we took a big, it's like a golfing umbrella, I suppose, but it's a big white umbrella, and I was under that. Got this pop-up tent, and that was funny. I'd never used it before. This is a true story. Never used it before, right? Don't want to go over the... Yeah, I think I want to go over the ground with that as well. And opening it, it's like, it popped straight up. Great. Packing it away. Now, that was a challenge, because nobody knew how it went back again. I mean, there was obviously a knack to it, which wasn't discovered until we came home and my daughter watched a video on how to do it. We're looking at the instructions that came with it. It does say watch dismantling video. I was like, what? Really? Are you serious? That's quite funny. We provided much mirth to some people around us. It was like a comedy show. I mean, who needs TV when you got us there, right? Still, we did it. We got it back anyway. We sort of kind of half folded it enough to get it away in the car. and then sorted it out when we came home. But yeah, went swimming again. Not much. I didn't do much at all really. I just my wife did more than I did, but yeah, I think I'll do the same with this chap here as well. I won't do the same with that one because he's got a stone and he's on. But the others, I'm gonna use this Lustrian undergrowth because why not? Yeah, so I've got the door open, so if you hear other noises in the outside world, that is what it is. Like I say, it's an experimental episode, this one, because I'm not using a lapel mic this time. I'm trying out one of the internal mics on my recording device, my Zoom mic. So if it comes out alright, I'll probably use that in future. If it's not, then obviously I'll revert back to using a lapel mic. But either way, it's better than the camera microphone, I find. I'm sure. So just painting these, basing these wolves up, I mean. Right, I'm going to need a piece of blue towel. Doesn't have to be blue, of course, but mine is blue, so I say blue towel. I'm going to wipe that end off. Keep these clean for as long as possible, because they soon get corked up with the texture. I need to make some more astrogranites, actually. Or at least a variation of it, because that's how I want to do my orcs. Right, so this one is not going to have, just going to lift the camera up slightly. It's not going to have the texture over the top of it like the others did, but to the side, because he's on a rock, you see. Got a fly or something in mini Warzone buzzing around. So there's a few spiders out here. They'll get him eventually, or he'll get trapped in one of the light fittings. They do that. I don't know why they get in there. They can't seem to get out. But yeah, there you go. So been busy with the job hunting malarkey. And it's pretty tiring. Some of everything is online these days. I don't like it. I much prefer the old way. You know, do you remember the days you go around in person, like to factories and things? Say, hey, have you got any work? You say yeah or no. Or sometimes you could start there and then, you know, yeah, sure, can you start now? Yeah, absolutely. You know. But, well, such is the way of things. It's going to take a lot of texture paint to cover this one. It's okay. Let's just put it on, gradually build it up, you know. So hobby wise, I've not been doing much at all. I did that airbrush video comparing cheap and expensive airbrushes, so you know, look out for that one. Let's get the angle right. Up here, yeah, I'll put a link there. If I remember, otherwise I'll look pretty stupid. Yeah. So I don't know, these basing. I've not been. It's not that I've been dreading doing it. It's just I've just not been excited about doing it. So using On the Bench to get this done is kind of cool. You know, that works for me, which is what it's all about. Exactly right. Lustrian Undergrowth. I haven't used this one much. So this is. Let's see if I can see what I'm doing there. But this is as much an experiment as anything, really. I've painted a green screen section on my studio wall to save me having to put up the green screen on the tripods and stands, because you know I'm quite lazy. Well, it's not that I'm quite lazy. It's just a pain, a royal pain, and it takes up room. So painting the wall, that takes up no room. I've moved my studio around a little bit, so this is all new. I don't know if we'll be staying in this position for these On the Bench videos. I don't know. Just see how it goes. And see how this sound thing goes as well. Hope it turns out alright. I really do. I apologise if it doesn't. As you know, I've got a bit of a thing. Sound's got to be good on my videos. But because of that, I experiment a lot. And invariably, a lot of the videos I do doesn't have good sound. But, you know, it's just one of those things. Experimentation is the key. I've done that now. I've got a cup of willow bark tea out here as well, which I can readily do. Right, so that's done on those bases there now. So I'll rub my hands off. Got a bit messy with this Lustrian Undergrowth. I should have worn gloves, I suppose, but oh well. So I'll pop that away now. I can. Or yeah. See how good it turns out. Got my towel to do. Now, this is a technical paint, what I call a technical paint, and it is a technical paint as well. It's a GW technical paint. So I got my paint rack to the other side. Well, it's the same side of the desk, but I've turned the desk around. Although you can't really see that here, I suppose. So yes. Put these guys to one side to dry. Because wolves are cool. I've got a lot of work to do finishing off these orcs. Metals, I suppose. Yeah, we could use metals. But then that would contaminate the water, so I'll get to these guys. Towelite ochre on my towel. Character brush. Do I want a character brush or a detail brush? I think I'll use a character brush. Is there enough light there for you guys? Sorry if I can. I'm just leaning over to see if I can put some more a light on the subject. Hopefully that's a little bit better. Now, tile light ochre. Let me mix it in here. Put a drop of retarder in with it. So my retarder and a little bit of water. Mix that up. There. Now we'll see how this turns out. So I'm painting over his helmet here. I wonder how the Tau armor differs to the Space Marine armor in the terms of the lore. Because technologically it's more advanced. Which would make sense. Hope you can't hear my neighbours because they tend to swear. But if I hear anything too bad, I'll shut the door. That'll block out some of the profanity, I suppose. Right. This is all an experimentation as well. So it's very much the experimentation episode, like I said at the start. Very much so. Hear the birds cawing in the background sometimes. I kind of like that. Yeah, I do like this colour scheme. I'm not entirely sure what colour I'm going to do the backpacks though, because I don't think I want them the same. Gotta have a steady hand for these armour sections. Obviously on the other shoulder pad I'm going to do the towel symbol. I should do that black and white, I should think. Yeah, so anyway, nearly 20 minutes in, and I haven't talked about much. So, yeah, so been busy. I'm going to a job fair next month with my wife. In my local town centre, they've got a job fair on next month where local employers get together and they're looking for workers, and you get the chance to meet the employer in person. So, I'm going to take my CV, obviously, loads of copies of my CV, to hand out to prospective employers. Been watching Teen Wolf a lot lately. It's kind of the series we're not binge watching, but we're watching a lot of it. Teen Wolf, it's not new, I don't think, but and I enjoy it. There is a but, though. It seems to me that the werewolves, are too easily overpowered by humans. You know, there's no way they'd be that easily overpowered. That wouldn't happen. No way, Jose. This episode is going to be all about the Tau here. So we did a little bit of basing at the start, but it is primarily all about the Tau. That's okay. I don't mind spending a bit of time doing this. These were the ones I stripped. Sorry, get it right. Stripped down because I didn't like the way they were painted. That's not to say I shall paint them any better. That's quite a nice setup here, camera angle and so on. Quite like it. Not putting my fan on because that'll dry the paints out too quickly. I know what some of you are probably saying right now. Use a wet palette, man. I'm not keen on them. They affect the paint. They alter the property of the paint too much for my liking. and so I'd rather not. And I think that's fair enough. Right, okay. Might have to switch out my brush in a moment to a smaller one. Might do. Do as much as I can with this character brush. Yes, I think the Tau are going to be difficult, but ultimately rewarding. Not difficult, but slow, but ultimately rewarding to paint. That's a better way of saying it, I think. Yeah, I might have to get to my detail brush. Doing quite well though. Who knows, may even get away with it. I think I might get away with it. I can work out what I want the hands to be later on. So this is really almost like a test piece, I suppose. What parts do I want to be armor coloured? I think we'll have that same colour too. In with the belt. Because I don't think I want the backpacks to be the same colour. haven't worked out what colour I want that to be. Just know I don't want it the same. Well, yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. Let's do one that's kind of kneeling down sort of thing. Wait a minute, have I don't think I've washed that one. Grr. Don't have another one that's kneeling down. That's fair enough. We'll do this chappy here then. He obviously wasn't done at the same time as the others. Right. Okay. It's a nice colour scheme. I do like it. I will definitely know Tau on the table when we're done here, and yeah, I shall choose units with more care. Thinking, what do I want to paint? I can hear my daughter getting up. She's pulled the curtains back in her room. They've got jingly things on, like chimes. That was my phone buzzing, not a message, just a notification. I think I'll do that. Only one colour. I could go back to the other one. Don't know though. Maybe some I'll do that and some I won't. Who knows? I won't be afraid to change to a detail brush if I need to. Hear those birds? They're really chirping. I love the birds. I'm trying to make sure they have plenty of water for them. So water dries up really quickly in this heat. And the poor thing has got no water. Yeah, right, so anyway, what else is new? Not much, to be honest. Karate training is coming on well though. Mrs. Mini Warzone is really proving exemplary in that. I mean, I would expect no less, of course. She'll soon be able to kick my butt. Which is good, which is the aim of every instructor, should always be to make the next generation of students better than himself. There we are, it's coming on well. Right. There's these leg armour things, which to me take the time. Next time I'll do one with no helmet on, because I want to have a go at the skin as well. Towel skin. Not that they have to do much of it, but luckily I'm doing the guns later, or last even, maybe. It's all very good, this. I'm soon getting the know-how of the layout of how the armour goes on a typical tower. Fire Warrior, I think this is. Fire Warriors and Pathfinders, they're quite similar, I think. It's a good thing this paint that I'm using now, this layer is called Towel Light Ochre, because that'll help me remember what colour I used. What colour did I use? I can't remember. Did you ever get that? I know it was a blue. No, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, I make notes. I used to. Back in the days when I was more organised. Back in the days before my modelling got out of hand and there's too many. That's alright. Oh, I've got to do the other leg. Let's get that knee. There's like a little knee pad thing he's got going on here. That's what I think it is, anyway. A lot of the detail is a little bit obscure because some of it got damaged in the stripping process. Sometimes that happens. Lines become less defined. And it just makes for a slightly harder paint job when you come to repaint something. How are you doing anyway? What projects have you got on the go at the moment? That's what I want to hear. You know I like to hear that. You know, yeah, this is why I make On the Bench, so I can hear what project you're doing. No, it isn't really. But it is a huge part of the enjoyment I get. I do these because they help me get stuff done. Right. Okay. That's him. Right, so I've got two. Wow, Pathfinders, Fire Warriors, Thingamajiggers, done. Right, so I'm going to go on this guy now. Just wash my brush out before we start on him. Sip of tea. Well, correction, this is a glug of tea, let's be honest. Starting to dry up here, which isn't good. The water will dry, so it'll start off thinner than it will end up. Right. So watching, I watch one of the channels I watch. I'm sorry, this is going to be a non-hobby related topic. It's actually an MS related topic. I call him the MS guy. He's called Andy Bailey actually, but he's really informative and some real good insights into MS. Obviously, he's got MS, as you know I have. And he's done a lot of research into it. And that, he first to admit he's not a neurologist or anything, but he's great at finding facts and putting them into layman's terms for the likes of me to understand. One of the things he was talking about was fatigue and MS. Fatigue, as you may know, is one of the main symptoms of MS. There's gajillions of symptoms, but it's one of the more well-known ones, I suppose. Let me wait for this aircraft to go by. And I'll explain about fatigue in MS. So I'm going to be even more layman's terms than Andy is. So I think I'm more of a layman. Right. Normal person, like your brain is essentially a computer. Essentially, for the body. Runs all the activities, the operations of your body. Like when you walk, for instance, your brain is actually making trillions of computations and billions upon billions of signals interpreting from your muscles and nerves, like in your legs and so on, to like autocorrect for balance and things like that. Now, balancing people with MS is not a good thing, because the nerve endings are all like knackered basically, because they've had the myelin sheath eaten away by their immune system, the white blood cells. But I digress. Anyway, So your brain makes billions of calculations to keep you upright and not fall over as you walk, for example. Otherwise, you'd be like one of those early robots that couldn't walk very well. You know, before the times of Asimov and all that kind of thing. They were just falling over all the time, weren't they? But right now, because MS, the signal execution point is damaged, and the wrong signals get to the brain. Your brain essentially has to send twice as many signals to try and not let you fall over, although sometimes that doesn't work, and I know that from personal experience, but it tries. Alright, so it's working twice as hard as a normal person's brain to interpret signals that are not very good anyway. And after a while, don't forget, this is real layman terms. After a while, your computer brain turns around and says, enough, you need to rest now, you've done too much. You know? Because fatigue is like, you know, when you do like some, if you do weightlifting or anything, and you do some sets, and you're on the heavy weights, and you do, I don't know, 20 reps. Well, think of how you feel after the 20th rep. Well, that's what it's like after the first one if you've got MS. You start off, you pick up, you go, right, let's do this, we can do this. Do you want to go, oh no, I'm too tired now, I can't do any more. It's not just MS, it's other neurological diseases. Things like fibromyalgia have the same sort of difficulties. And so basically your computer brain has to work twice as hard. It overheats or whatever, and it shuts down. It says, no, you got to... I mean, it's just doing its job, really. It's trying to protect you. Because according to it, you've overworked yourself, and it knows no different. It doesn't know any better. And like I say, there's no reason why it would. But that's what's basically going on. Like I say, I fall over a lot anyway. I've got to know where all the handholds are in my house very well, all on the walls and the railings. Which is something you do, you just get to know. And that was my little explanation of MS stuff, or a little bit about it. Fatigue. Hate fatigue. Came back from the beach yesterday, a lovely day, and I was fatigued. Couldn't enjoy the rest of the day because I was too knackered. It's not like I did much. I did a little bit of swimming, but not much at all. But yeah, that's me done. I'm quite enjoying painting these, actually. I'm enjoying painting these more than I thought I was going to enjoy them. Obviously, there's no way I'm going to get them all done before the episode is over, because, you know, we're 48 minutes into it now, but, you know, I'll do as much as I can. He's going to be a good candidate for skin. Mwahaha. Back to the helmets. Noisy van outside somewhere. It's Monday today. Remember to have my MS meds today. Sometimes I forget. I have to have them later in the day. Do you know, if I miss a day, I have to go into hospital. Because if you miss a day on them, because the meds, if you've missed like 24 hours of it, they slow your heart right down, and you have to be monitored when you're taking it. And if you've missed a day, it slows it down even further. So you have to be monitored for, I think it's 6 hours or 8 hours. I think it might be 6 on a hospital ward, and they won't release you until your heart rate turns to what is deemed normal for you. I can remember when I first started, I used to feel like I was fainting. Awful sickness I used to get with it as well. I cured that though with goat's milk. Taking it with goat's milk stopped the nausea straight away. I wouldn't mind seeing my neurologist sometime, actually. I haven't seen him in about a year or so, maybe 2 years. It's not like I have to see him regular. Gonna get to the end of this guy. I might wash that one that was kneeling down. Touch of Agrac's Earth Shade will do wonders. I can hear somebody's phone ringing. That reminds me I must ring my mum, because she can't ring out on her phone. But I can ring her. It's Monday, so she should be home. My wife's only working till 1:30, so I'm out here quite early morning. I came back from dropping her into work, and I just waited for the post to arrive before I came out to mini Warzone. I do hope the sound is alright on this video. If not, I will revert back to the lapel mic technique. Must have some more tea. Before it goes totally cold. spilling it everywhere. Yeah, I don't know what colour to do the backpacks. I mean, maybe I'll do them the same colour, maybe I won't. I'm thinking I won't. I could set myself a challenge doing white. Or something. There's a buzzy thing near me now. Whether it's a wasp or a bee, I don't know. I think it might be a wasp. This guy's holding maybe a grenade of some sort, I don't know. So yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're working on. Don't forget, I'll say it now, like, share and subscribe. Chances are if you're watching this you're already subscribed, but if you share it out it might reach other people that aren't, and then they might subscribe if they kind of want to paint along video, because there's not enough of them out there, I don't think, paint along videos. And I don't like the ones that are done live. I just don't, because I think they go on too long. I think an hour is enough. That's not to say I haven't watched them. I have. I just prefer the ones that are, about an hour and regular. That way I look forward to another session, as it were, then. Right, that's him done. Yeah, boy. I may do their armbands or not. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to leave it for now. We'll leave that for now. And what I'll do is I'll wash this guy that's kneeling down here. I'll put the Agrax Earthshade on him. Here we are. Agrax Earthshade. And then we'll call him a day. Yeah, so we'll just get some Agrax on there, your white chap. Lovely Agrax Earthshade. Yeah, I think that's him done, because this will take ages to dry. Doubt I'll get back to this guy today. Right, so that's him. He can be drying. And there, pop that away. Take my glasses off. And I will end it here. So that brings me to the end of this episode of On the Bench. Thank you for joining me, especially if you watched the whole thing. I do appreciate it. And but like I said at the start, it's therapy for me. I find it very therapeutic. It's just great, especially these towels. I'm finding these towels very therapeutic to paint. More so than I thought. Like I said, more so than I thought. But yeah, like I said, please, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell me in the comments below what you're working on. At the moment, are you going to be looking at this new Kill Team stuff that GW's going to be coming up with? I know it's not new, but it's like a new edition of it, isn't it? Kill Team, interesting. Rumour I heard was it was alternating activation, like, you go, you go, you go, you go, rather than your whole side and then the other person's whole side, because I think it makes more sense in a skirmish game anyway, but yeah, that's to be revealed, I suppose. Anyway, don't forget, if you can, check out my Patreon. I'm not getting a lot from that, but it does, every little I get does help me, especially in my endeavours here, because I need the funds to put into my channel. Like I say, I'm trying to get the sound better with my mic and other stuff. I'll be hopefully upgrading cameras. When I can upgrade the equipment, and I've got nice little stuff, and then I can look at the games. Oh, excuse me, fatigue. Then I can look at the games, getting more gaming done, and if needs be, I'll game solo, because it's quite hard to get regular games with anyone. It's not impossible, but or I can look at RPG stuff and go into that genre. It's all miniatures, right? So, but anyway, thanks for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war, and bye for now.